Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on
Welcome
TV.
to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast, the one and only. I'm your host, Jamal. With me, as always, is my co-host, Reeves. Say what's up.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Woo!
And with Reeves, as always, his co-host, Third Mike. You know him. Not sure you like him based on the reviews. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody? Woo!
Let's address something right now. I have a review from someone who listened to last week's episode, and they said verbatim, Brian, give Jamal a break. He did one bad bit, and it's been 4 seasons. You've done so many others. That was their review.
That's
Wow, and are we revealing names of who this person
Yeah,
is?
I'd like to reveal a name. It says Mrs. Jackson, if you're nasty.
Oh no.
my mom before my parents got divorced said that.
Bingo.
Because my wife's name is Donovan. She didn't change her last name.
Yeah, it wasn't your wife. I would have said Carrie or K-Rock.
My mom from the past said that.
Your mom from the past. I went to a mailbox. I opened the
Oh,
mailbox.
wow.
And I
But
reached in.
lake house. You did a lake house.
Just like the lake house.
I did a lake house. I was at a lake house too. I was in
Yeah.
Shenandoah at a lake house, and I went to
Yeah.
the mailbox because I was like,
Word.
well, I'm here this weekend, so if any mail's here, it's probably for me. And
It's
I
for
opened
you.
it,
Yeah, whatever you say, any place, the mail that comes
Yeah.
is for you.
and I opened the mailbox, and in there it said to Pod Chef from Mrs. Jackson, parentheses, if you're nasty, end parentheses. And I was like, what is this? And then it was just your mom leaving a review to you. I think she thought you were hanging out with me.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, she thinks he's here. He's not here. So I'll just bring this up in a kind of embarrassing way on the podcast.
And there also was a picture of her, and she was holding a newspaper, and it said,
Yeah, that wasn't the only picture.
1945.
I just
Yeah.
want to be quite honest. There's another picture of your mom in there. She was like being kissed by a sailor.
Okay.
She was like being bent over and being kissed by a sailor.
is that how you say
Bend
that?
over. Is
She
that
was
what
being
you think
dipped.
that famous
She
picture
was
is?
being dipped by a sailor.
That famous
And
picture where that sailor's bending that woman over.
And now a lovely picture of a man bending over a woman and giving her a kiss.
Well, let's hear it for our boys coming back from the war as he bends over this lovely lass.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
That's true. You could say stuff like that.
But I'm glad I just had to get that out of the way at the top of the show. Anyone who's listening, please go like and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at PodChef Podcast. Let's get right into it. Brian,
So folks know that there's no way my mom listens to this podcast. Zero.
Yeah, she does.
Zero chance.
She does. She wrote me a letter. I read it.
Maybe
And,
the past my mom. Maybe past mom likes podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
she does.
Tracks.
I did have to write her back and say, look, there's 3 rules that Tom gave us, and one of them is don't fall in love with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I'm getting to know you, the more I'm starting to love your son.
That's kind of nice, even though it's a
Yeah.
rule we're not supposed to break.
Exactly. So what I did was I put the mail back to her. I wrote it back to her, and then I flipped the flag up so the mail carrier knows there's mail going out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back before I left, I destroyed the mailbox. So there can't be any letters coming back.
Wow. So wow. I had so many
It's
things
over.
to tell her.
It's over.
I could have told her so many things to not fuck me up as a little kid.
Yeah, but then you change the timelines. We can have
Yeah,
that.
you don't want to get into all that.
This
Really
podcast
just
wouldn't
podcast
exist.
stuff.
Yeah, the podcast wouldn't exist if I
You'd be-
if I didn't crave just like attention and
Yeah. It doesn't
People
come
tell me
off.
that I'm
It
funny.
doesn't come off when people
No,
know
it
you.
doesn't? Okay.
It doesn't like bleed off you. So that's good.
So you're saying that I hide it well? Okay, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, you hide it very well.
Good.
I
It
guess
just
to our fans, if you're happy that Brian is so fucked up because it means that the podcast is existing, then go ahead and write in our Reddit page, which
Mhm.
we tried to make, but it got shut down or something.
Yeah, they said that it was too adult.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. but that's okay. Let's get into it. Brian, you baked this week, didn't you?
I did. I made a pie. I made the pie.
He made the
The
pie.
pie.
He
as
made the
promised.
Allison Roman peach pie.
I did.
Walk us through your process.
2 weeks ago, I bought a bunch. We went to a pick your own peach. Remember, I told you last week that I had this peach
Everyone's
story.
hands above their waist, please, White Does.
All right, boys, if you're out there, maybe send the kids to bed before you listen to this one.
Yeah.
Put the
Okay.
women, put the wife and children to bed.
Put in those AirPods. Okay. Draw the shades.
And light a candle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Soak in a nice bath.
Ooh,
Actually,
yeah.
don't do that. That might be bad with the iPods because you might drop them in the water and then you're
Yeah,
out
that'd
a
be
lot of money.
Was that a $500 mistake?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
don't do that last part. But everything else, do it.
I had a bunch of peaches with the intent of making this pie. I, first of all, am obsessed with peaches. The summer peach season, it's great. I go to the farmer's market every weekend. I'm touching all the peaches. I get excited. They're so good.
Mhm.
I said, let's make this pie. And I watched the Alice Roman video and I did it. I made the crust the day before.
Mhm.
And then I put it in the fridge and I cut all the fruit the day before, put it in the fridge. Next day, made it. Didn't have as much fruit as I wanted because a bunch of it went bad because I had waited 2 weeks.
Mhm.
But it was really good. I think I made a couple of little mistakes. So in Allison's video, she uses lime juice and lime zest. And I used as much as she says, but she had like a pound and a half more peaches than me. So my pie is like pretty citrusy, but that's good. It actually tastes really good. And also the bottom didn't quite get cooked fully through. I think because the top was kind of burning. When I had texted the group chat about that, Reeves was like, "Oh, you can cover it with tin foil and let it cook," but I didn't do that. I was like, "It's probably fine." And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It tastes good. I did a good job, and it looks. I'm gonna post a picture on the Instagram. It looks pretty nice.
Looks scrumptious.
It did look good. I
Yeah,
would have eaten that pie.
I'm proud
I
of
would've.
myself.
If I was at Brian's and he made that pie, I would have been like, I want some. And I'm an apple pie boy. But
Mhm.
We all know that.
Yes. Well, I think the three of us kind of know about it. Did we get into your interest in apple pies on this podcast before?
I don't know. Possibly we did. But, when it comes to American desserts, nothing beats an apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
Brian said that apple pie is not in season, which, 4th of July, apple pie, those two things go together. And what people need to understand is that peaches were introduced to this country from China. And so Brian loves peaches because he loves China. That's the reason why he talks so highly of the NBA on this show, because he actually contractually cannot talk bad about the NBA on this show. So he's bigging up peaches. He's bigging up the NBA.
For the love of God, please don't ask me about Hong Kong.
Yeah. So we cannot afford to get into his stance on Hong Kong. Because we can't afford to lose any more sponsors.
We only have the one, and it's the one for ball deodorant.
We have that. Well, actually, we have two sponsors. We have the deodorant, and we also have Baby Daddy condoms.
That's right.
They're a silent. They're a silent.
They're
supporter.
silent, but unless we mention them, and then they become.
We all use them. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah, we don't talk about it, but
Did we do an ad read for those?
we did not.
Okay.
They actually asked that we didn't do an ad read because
That's smart.
They thought that the ad read itself might deter people from buying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, because the copy says like these don't work. You will have a kid if you. These are basically pointless.
yeah, the ad read also is like, you ever seen a cartoon where like a water balloon has holes in it, and then you fill it up? That's
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
You shoot a tin can with bird shot, and then fill it full of water. It all comes. It's like that.
Yeah.
It all comes out.
So yeah. Anyways, I'm an apple pie guy, and I will be making an apple pie and taking a picture of it. I'll be making it this week, I believe, and then we'll take a picture of it, and then you guys can give us feedback on which pie looked better. We know which one's going to taste better because I'm going to put in this thing called effort. So
I put in lots of effort. I tried very hard.
He said after he let half the peaches go to waste because he took 2 weeks to.
There's effort, and then there's procrastination. Very different.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make an apple pie this week, and then you guys will see that glorious concoction.
I look forward to it.
But Brian's pie looked great. But that's not the only thing Brian did this week. Brian also went tree hunting.
Went foraging for a tree. There's this my stories are long. We bought a fig tree. And it's little, it's like 2.5 feet, 3 feet. It's in a pot right now. It could go inside during the winter. We could plant it outside. We're not sure yet. But it's already producing fruit. Costs $70. I think it's a great deal for 5 figs.
Flex.
For 5 figs, it's great.
It's the lobster
And,
trees.
It's the lobster
That's
trees.
7 lobsters right there.
I do have one that I just picked, and I can take a picture of it and show the internet and show you guys if we care about that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Because
Yeah.
some people are weird about figs because they have like a look to them.
Because they're brown.
Huh?
He's asking.
They have a
if it's
look
because
to
of
them,
the-
right?
the
Do
color
they
of their
look
skin.
suspicious? Is that why you're saying people?
Yeah, I saw it in my
weird
neighborhood. And I
about
called the
figs?
cops,
It looks good.
and I was like, "You're not supposed to be here."
You know, when I first moved into my apartment and I went to check the mail, my next door neighbor said, "What are you figs doing here?"
Wow, that looks good. And
They look kind
this
of
is
like
great for our listeners. I'm looking at it now. It looks
Yeah,
like a
it
fig. He
looks a
isn't
fig.
lying to us.
Super figgy in the
you know what it
middle.
looks like.
What?
It looks like those gems that you can get. You
Oh,
know?
a geode.
A geode.
Okay.
It does kind of look like a geode. Yeah.
And that makes me think how when God made Earth and made all of us creatures,
Oh, here we
he
go.
had
Here we go.
a design in mind. This didn't happen by chance. You're going to tell me that my fig
Comes
looks
the
like a
payoff.
geode by accident?
No.
This
That
sort
a
of-
comet exploded and my
Mhm.
fig looks like a geode?
So, to our listeners at home, Brian keeps going on these rants that he tries to connect to religion, but it really is all just about how things look like geodes.
Yeah.
It's very rare. I have trouble connecting it to like the Christianity part of it, but it's always about something looks like a geode, and there's like no way that's a coincidence.
It's not an accident.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's intentional. Your mouth, I like a geode.
So that's
Okay.
Brian. The sound you're hearing right now is Brian chomping down in your ear. While
I want you
he's
guys to
eating
get
a
the
fig.
full experience. I'm going to send you the picture on Instagram. I described it to you. Looks like a geode. Thank you,
And now
God.
you can
And now I'm
hear
eating
him.
it.
Yeah, now you can hear it in your ear as he's eating it.
Yum 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 yum.
It's got little
Peop-
seeds, like the little
People love
seeds,
that. People love that.
The little crunchies you get with a fig.
Yeah. All right,
Looks
those are two good stories. Better
Thank
than
you.
mine. Better than
I'm
mine
going to play
last week.
bird sounds over them.
No, don't.
And I do mean over, not under.
All right. Well, anyone else got anything big happen to him this week? Anything we should talk about? Did you get anything from Tom?
Oh, yes, I did. You were asking me anything big, and I was like, oh, "What did I even do this week?" You know what I'm saying? Like when it's
Yeah.
like you're like, I can't even remember what happened. But yeah, now that I think about it, Tom did send me an email. So he,
I know all the lyrics to the theme song to Saved by the Bell, but I don't know what I did this week. You know?
Mhm.
Okay.
Our brains are like that.
Hold on a second. I want to test that. Go ahead.
I don't know the whole. This is long, but it's when I wake up in the morning, the alarm gets off. I'm snoring, and I think I'll make it on time. Wait, when I wake up in the morning, the alarm gets out of warning. I don't think I'll ever make it on time. I know the whole thing. We're not gonna do the whole thing. No one's seen that.
Okay. All right.
But what did I have for breakfast? I don't know.
I can't even
I don't
remember.
know.
And that was like only a couple of hours ago. It just
Yeah.
went out of my head. But yeah, Tom did email me.
Thank God.
He did. He reached out. He just sent me an email, and it just said like, "Hi, how are you?" And there's like
Okay.
no signature, no nothing,
Mhm.
just that, which is like a little confusing.
Okay.
So like, I was like trying to respond back. I was like gonna be like, I'm fine. What's going on? How's the script going? And then before I could even respond, he wrote, "I'm doing fantastic." in all caps. He said, "I'm about to start my Muay Thai workout. I just finished
His
my
Muay
Brazilian
Thai.
Jiu-Jitsu workout." And that's all that was in that email. And I was like, okay, I was going to respond again because it's like, again, like I don't know why he's telling, like I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's telling me this.
He's mixing the martial arts himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he says he's doing, right? He says, "I'm mixing the martial arts."
I'm mixing them. And before I could even respond to that, he wrote back again. This is kind of like, you know, like when people like write in text, they'll text you like a question, and before you even respond, they just send like 5 or 6 other things. It's just like one sentence at a time to you.
Yeah, we're all married.
I guess that joke works. So yeah. So the next email he wrote is he was like, I just took 5 Alpha Brain tablets.
Wow. Okay. He's really unlocking his full brain potential.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that Joe Rogan thing, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. But he said he stayed up all night, like writing the script.
Mhm.
And now it's like 356 pages, single
Whoa.
spaced, which I don't write scripts, but that feels long to me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be a minute per page, they say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's like double spaced.
So this is like a very long movie. I don't know. He was like, no more boring setups. Let's just get right to the meat of it. And there's like a parenthetical here that says LOL, and then within that it says cooking.
That's a good joke.
It's I guess meat part. Yeah, I guess. And so he attached the script, or at least a part of the script. Again, he only gives it to me in pieces. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I responded back. I was like, great, you know, how have you been liking our feedback and that kind of stuff? You know, got any questions, any of that? And he did not respond to that.
So he's been responding too fast the entire time, and then as soon as you respond, he's got nothing for you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's clear that it's like, oh, he's just dropping information on me, and it's not.
Yeah.
This is not an A/B conversation of any kind. It's just, you know, it's not a two-way street. He's just sending it to us. So anyway, he sent me another script or another scene. But yeah, do you guys want me to get into it?
Absolutely.
Hell yes.
I am so invested in this movie.
Okay.
I'm ready to actually invest in this movie.
Invest in it. I think that's part of what he wants is like us to get this out to a wider audience and then get like some producers, some investors in it.
Did you say a whiter audience?
Not on purpose.
And did you say wider audience as in like bigger
Fat
people?
people?
I mean, maybe. I think he's looking for money.
Okay.
So if that fits into those categories, that falls in there, then that works.
I mean, being fat used to be like a sign of like opulence.
wealth. Yes, because
Yeah.
you're
It's
eating
changed
so well.
now. It's changed now because
Yeah.
the bad food is cheap.
The world we live
Yeah.
in, right?
And
You're
when you
fat.
go,
Are you a king? Like, nah, man, I'm poor. I eat fucking McDonald's every day.
and when you go eat very fancy restaurants, the portions are incredibly
They're
tiny.
small,
They're way
and
too
they yell at you
small.
if they're too big.
And you
Mm-hmm.
think that it's a shared plate thing.
It's sort of like how Democrats used to be Republicans.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Yes.
We don't need to say anything else.
And we
That's
could talk
exactly what it
about
was.
Nixon Land, my favorite
Yeah.
book. Okay, so let's get into it. So this is from page 278. So he's jumping ahead.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay. Night falls over the hot and humid jungle in Thailand. We pan down to see an army of Royal Imperial Padma bots with their blasters out searching the jungle. The bots arrive at a small abandoned campsite. And again, if you guys have like notes or anything like that.
Oh,
feel
when we
free.
get to a part that needs notes.
Yeah, no notes so far.
We're gonna
No notes
talk.
so far?
Perfect.
Sure. Okay. All right. Okay. So the bots arrive at a small abandoned campsite. There is a campfire that looks as if it has just been put out.
Mm.
Next to the fire is a cast iron skillet with a nicely prepared New York strip steak. A robot approaches the skillet and pokes the steak with its pointer finger. Robot 1, still rare. Needs more resting time. He can't be far.
Okay.
Robot 2. Surrender now, humanoid, or you will be destroyed by direct order from the president of the world.
Padma Lakshmi.
Yeah, Padma. The camera slowly pans around, showing the mass Royal Imperial Padma bot army.
Wow.
It comes back around to the campsite and stops on a knife block.
Ooh.
All the knives are gone.
Oh, no, that means everyone's been selected. The teams have been made.
Tom comes crashing down from the trees above.
Oh no.
Tom is wearing a camo-colored chef's jacket and hat.
Yes.
He lands on top of some of the robots and immediately starts a series of jump kicks to create some space.
Nice.
The Imperial bots draw their blasters. Tom grabs one bot and puts it in a rear naked chokehold.
Yes.
I think this is where all the, he's been doing that training and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably some kind of connection there.
He's been mixing up the martial arts.
He wants to know. He wants to know the real moves. So it doesn't look stupid when he puts them out there. That's why Jean-Claude Van Damme was great, because he's like a real. He really does those things.
Yeah, he's doing all his own stunts, and I think that's kind of what Tom wants to do too.
Hell yeah.
Well, Tom did have that commercial where he did a splits on two carts full of food that they were pushing down a hallway for room service.
Yeah,
kind of like Jean-Claude Van Damme did the splits on those two trucks that were driving down the highway.
Yeah.
And we know he does his own stunts because he did drive that BMW on that racetrack last season. He did that.
Yeah, he did that.
He wore a
100%
helmet.
He did that.
He wore a helmet to prove to us that he wanted to be safe and that he was doing all his own stunts.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's like he wasn't wearing it, we would know that it's like, oh, he got a stuntman to get in the car and drive it
touch
for
that
him.
car. He don't fucking drive a car. I'm not poor. I don't drive a car.
Okay. So Tom has the robot in rear naked chokehold. Robot 1, fire. Tom uses the one robot that he has in the chokehold as a shield. Then he draws his knives and sends them into the heads of all the surrounding Imperial bots. They all fall to the ground. As the smoke clears, we see one bot's head smashed against a tree with a knife through it. The knife has the name Dawn printed on it.
Yes. Perfect.
Tom says, just in time. He then downs a refreshing San Pellegrino. We hear a loud beeping. Tom looks up and sees another wave of Imperial bots in the distance running towards him. He turns and sprints in the other direction. He runs and jumps up to grab a hanging rope. He coolly glides over a large and barely visible pit. The first line of robots behind him stumble down into the pit. It is filled with a white foam. The robots are confused and disoriented. They panic as sparks begin to fly out of their heads. Robot 1, it's malfunctioning my mainframe. Robot 2, it's a perfect balance of sweet and savory. We cut to a shot of Tom running through the jungle towards the camera as a large explosion goes off in the background. He comes to a sudden halt. The camera continues to pan out, revealing him stuck at the top of a massive waterfall.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pelican
looks over. What's that?
That's not Pelican Brief, right?
Pelican Brief?
No. What is that an homage to? The Fugitive.
Yes.
The Fugitive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
I'm
these subtle
innocent.
nods. These are real subtle nods.
This is also a subtle nod to Jurassic Park 3 when they are stuck at the top and they got to jump off
Yeah.
to get away from the.
Apatosaurus?
Not Jurassic Park 3. It's the remake, the reboot of Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
The most recent Jurassic World, the second one?
Where they got to the first one, where they got to jump off the waterfall to get away from that hybrid dinosaur. I forgot what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he beat up that bear? Doesn't he do that in that one too?
Revenant?
Yeah. Does he jump off a waterfall in that?
I hope so.
I think he falls off one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, it's
There's
a
a
nod
lot
to
of nods. Yeah. There's a lot of
exactly.
Scorsese in this. So
Mhm. It
A
does.
lot
for
of
him.
little subtle, subtle
Yeah.
little hints.
I think it is very subtle. I think it's
Mhm.
He's not going out of his way to like be like, oh, I'm just like ripping off these other things or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's just like a very nice, subtle like tip of the hat to some
Yeah.
of the like greats that came before him.
Mhm.
So far, I just want to say, I know we're not done, but I'm getting hints of Scorsese. I'm getting Tarantino. I'm getting Michael Bay in here. You know,
Mhm.
I'm getting Steve McQueen. Like I'm getting hints of the
Mhm.
big hitters. You know,
All the big
Mhm.
ones.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
The shark from Suicide Squad, he's in there. Shark
Yes. Sharkman.
Man. I'm getting nods to
Yes.
Shark Man, Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
Feels like Sharkman, Suicide Squad. We've all seen it. That was the best part.
new
Mhm.
friends.
Freaking Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a Groot Sharkman movie.
Yeah.
Can I get a fucking Groot Sharkman movie, please?
My only
Hobbs and-
problem with
Hobbs
Yeah.
and Gnaw.
They did Hobbs and Shaw. Give me Groot and Sharkman.
Yeah,
Groot and Sharkman. I think the only problem with that is that they're so different
yeah.
that it would almost be like an odd couple situation.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to watch one of them make a big mess, and the other one would be like, "Oh, gotta clean this up,"
Right?
and the other one's like, "I am Groot," you know?
Mhm.
They should call it Surf and Turf.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd watch the shit out of that.
That works.
And there you go, audience. You've been in the writers' room.
Mhm. Okay. Tom looks over his shoulder and sees hundreds of remaining Imperial bots running towards him. He looks down over the waterfall to the pool of water below. He looks up and appears determined and also very brave. Kid Rock's Bob with the Boss slowly fades in the background. Tom, guess I'll need immunity for this challenge. Tom leaps right off as the music starts pumping.
My name is Kid.
He's just like flying off the waterfall.
Kid Rock.
And then it's like all the bots are flying off after him. Yeah. So that's the scene.
Wow, that's epic.
Mhm.
I'm there in my mind. I'm there. I'm seeing it. It's climactic.
I think so.
That fucking ruled.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is. We got to get in here somewhere where he says, "You drew first blood,"
Yes.
so we can
Mhm.
like get like a Rambo nod in here
Mhm.
because he's in the jungle. Like I'd love to get Tom. You know, he's basically Rambo'd out. He's using knives and stuff. He's like,
Mhm.
so like if we could get him to just some kind of wink to Rambo.
Yeah, because I don't
Maybe
think
in the
that
chains, maybe he can have a machine gun and he's like, and he's like doing that slow motion scene.
Mhm. I do feel like there is a chance that there might be a very emotional speech at some
Okay.
point. You know,
Okay.
similar to the Rambo 1 speech,
Yeah,
which is one of my favorite speeches, I think, in all of
it's
cinema.
great. Yeah,
yeah.
I
the
think
I like
Rocky
that.
Four
Yeah.
speech. The Rocky Four
Mhm.
speech.
Yeah.
I thought that and the King's speech were good speeches.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
That speech he
when,
did at the end.
Mhm.
Yep.
When people tell me what my favorite speeches are, MLK Jr. I have a
Yep.
dream.
Mhm.
End of the first. Wait, what's the movie? Rambo. First Blood movie,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
and then King's Speech.
And the King's speech, yes. It's my favorite best picture winner. That and The Shape of Water.
All right.
Yeah. That
ruled.
That was amazing. I think that's my favorite script segment so far that we've gotten. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was worried with the jump ahead in time that I wouldn't know what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
but I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
know
feel
everything.
Yeah, like it. I know what it's take. What we've the journey we've been on to get to this point. I know it.
Mhm.
It
As
feels
soon as-
familiar to me.
As soon as you said we open on a pan of nighttime in Thailand, I said,
Mhm.
I get it.
Yeah.
I know how we got here.
Yep.
Of
Mhm.
course. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
think that's the sign of a good movie is like you can take any scene in isolation
Yep.
and you get the story. You understand what's happening.
And that is kind of like a nod to Top Chef because they'll start like they'll be in Los Angeles and then they're like, hey, the finale is going to be in Alabama.
Mhm.
And like they just pick a place. They pick a place at random. And it kind of feels like in this script, they were starting in Los Angeles and then they just randomly went to Thailand. I was like, that's another nod to like the
Mhm.
genius that is Top Chef.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's TC on TC.
I can't wait for that. a couple of episodes before the finale where they just to see their faces when they say, "Pack your knives, we're going to Alabama." just some like very slight smiles
Yeah.
and confused faces.
People are like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
And all the bald people are like, I don't want to go.
Yeah, if there's any bald people, we don't know if they're going to be.
They don't tend to make it to the finales.
Yeah, it kind of seems like in the early seasons, if you're bald, you kind of got to earn the finale. Whereas in the most recent season, they went out of their way to make sure a bald person was in the finale.
Mhm.
And then they crowned the rightful winner.
Yeah, not the bald person.
Yep, they got no regrets over that.
Nope, it all worked
yeah,
out great.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Should have kept Sarah in the competition. Should have won. All right, let's move on to Chefs I Prepared for You. This is where we talk about what we had for dinner last night and only last night, and we present it to you as if we are presenting it to the judges on Top Chef. I'll go first. Chefs I Prepared for You, another beef bowl with
Hell yeah.
shiitake mushrooms, sweet potatoes, broccoli, garlic, and onions.
Now, when you make this, do you do it like a stir fry? You kind of all throw it in together or
Nope.
whatever, or you do it separate?
I'm piecing it separate. Onions first. Obviously, you always cook onions
Of
first.
course,
Right.
of course.
And then I'm doing beef, so the beef is then cooking. Onions removed, then you put the beef in, so the beef is cooking
What?
in that onion juice
Mhm.
while it's cooking. And then I put the onions back in, so it mixes together, right?
Mm.
Get a little final cook on the beef and onions. Take them both out. Now I'm putting in shiitake mushrooms, the garlic, and the broccoli, and then the sweet potatoes. And then we're frying that one. And then we put it all back together, and it kind of comes together at the end. Otherwise, you'll get too much moisture.
Hmm. Yeah, and with mushrooms, you don't want to fuck with that. They'll get soggy.
So, yeah. So otherwise, you'll get too much moisture. So I got 2 frying pans going at the same time, and then I put them all together.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dishes.
It's not that much. I know that's how you cook. Brian, if something's like 4 dishes or more, he's like, let's order it. Let's order food.
Yeah. We are going to have 2 dishes for ourselves to eat off of. So, one more. Like, it's cutting it close.
Yeah.
It's like, if we can't make this in one tray bake or one pan,
Well, you're
let's order food.
always trying to use your like the plate that you're going to eat on as like the source that you cook things. So you're like trying to put it on the stovetop, which
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to mess up your plates that way. I don't know.
Well, I messed up a lot of plates, and that's why I started eating out of the frying pans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just spoons out. I've seen this. He just spoons out the portion for Carrie, and then he just takes the frying pan and sets it down in front of him
That's
and
right.
eats the
I
rest.
make Carrie hold her hands out in a little bowl.
Yeah.
And I fill her little hands full of as much dinner as she can hold. I say, you want to eat more dinner? You gotta have bigger hands.
That's why she's doing those hand exercises.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to make her hands fucking swole so she
Trying
can
to
get some more
stretch 'em
dinner.
out.
Yeah. You did send us that picture where it's like you guys are sitting on the couch and you've got like, a skillet, you've got like an oven mitt on holding the skillet, and then you've got a spatula, which I feel like you could probably use a spoon at that point.
Nope, too
That
many
you're,
dishes.
You're spooning out with a spatula to her and using that to eat with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just what couples do. When
Hey.
you've been together this long, it just
Yeah.
feels comfortable to
Mhm.
spoon your wife's meal into her tiny open hands, make a little
Mhm.
cup. Soup's hard. Soup is hard. We do it that
yeah.
way.
Yeah. I'd
She can't
imagine.
get it. She can't get a clean seal
Yeah.
all the way.
An airtight seal.
Yeah, she can't quite get there. But you know
You
what?
wanna
We're
get
gonna
you-
try.
Yeah, you want to get a submarine seal. That's what you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll get there. Until then, she just gets the hard parts.
Yeah, or she just has to like slurp it really fast, and there's like a bowl underneath her hands when you pour it in.
No, there's no bowl. There's more dishes to do. Maybe I'll put my hands underneath there, get some of that soup too.
All right. Well, that was my dinner.
I made
Okay.
it about me. Thank you.
Chefs, I prepared for you some grilled baked potatoes and some lobster tails.
Now these looked loaded. Were they loaded?
You better believe we loaded these bad boys
Ooh,
up.
these lobster tails were loaded.
They
So
were so
I just want
loaded.
you guys to know something. Reeves is pro gun, and his baked potatoes are always loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I want
He's
them to be able to
always
stand
loaded.
their ground in case
Yeah.
they run into anything. That's their rights, though, right? As a
Yeah.
potato, you gotta be loaded with as many, whatever side, sour cream, all these kinds of things.
Just because you're a spud doesn't mean you're a dud. Return other duds back to the ground where they belong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just glad that the potatoes have what they need in case someone runs in with a gun.
Well,
You know?
yeah. Well, that's why, as long as we have a good potato around, a good loaded potato, I don't know what the problem is.
It's always when potatoes go bad that you're like looking around like, where's a good loaded potato at?
Yeah.
Because if someone comes in and wants to start some shit, you just hold up. Everyone's like, I've got loaded potatoes. And they're like, oh, shit, my bad. And they back away and they get out of there.
Yeah, Reeves got him strapped to his chest, opens up his coat, he's got 6 there, and he's got a little detonator that's just going to pump him full of bacon bits.
And Reeves is like, make my day. Do you feeling lucky, punk? Huh?
And his demands are butter. I don't know.
That was good.
I need some butter for my potatoes. Yeah, you salt them ahead of time. You oil them ahead of time. Baked potato on the grill is always good. And then lobster, which I established earlier, is something that is cheap.
Nope.
And it is affordable to all people. I got them on sale, and it was worth it. It's one of my wife's favorite meals, lobster. So it was good. Worked out.
Maybe I'll try. I often walk past the fish aisle all the time in Whole Foods and places, and I was like, the farmer's market has a fish guy. I'm like, and I just don't. I don't pull the trigger.
You got to do it once. Definitely whole fish. If you got a grill, you got to do a whole fish.
Well, should we talk about it?
I think we should talk about it. We've all seen it, right?
We've all seen it. Boys, hands in camera view, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Allison Roman did a whole fish video.
Yeah, she got a new grill.
She got a new grill.
She can't come on this podcast now, right? There's no way she can come.
I'm gonna ask her.
But tell her not to listen to any of the previous episodes. She's
No one would.
I know
No
this
one
is
would.
via Zoom, but I feel like these guys will kill me because they talk about me so much.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, I'll go. There's not gonna be any fun jokes in mine because I was too busy making pie. So chefs,
I ordered for you
last night my wife prepared for us pasta with crappy sauce. It was like Trader Joe's arrabbiata sauce. It was such a bummer. The last few sauces, like what I should have done was what you guys do and lie, and said that we made homemade pizzas, which we did like 2 nights ago. My pasta today is the sauce that Carrie made for the pizzas. That's good. The Trader Joe's sauce just fucking sucked. It was such a bummer. Like after having like that sauce that she made and having the sauce we bought at the farmer's market, this Trader Joe's sauce tastes like fucking water. Like it's just awful. Trader Joe's, I love you. Your sauce tastes like dog shit.
and there goes our third sponsor.
It's too much trouble to make your own sauce. So have your canned sauces taste good, everybody.
You should get Newman's Own.
That's a bad sauce.
How's that a bad sauce? That's
Paulie
my
Newman?
family sauce.
That's your... Oh, that's right. Your last name is Newman. Now everyone knows. They can find you.
Okay. Not sure how I feel about you saying that.
Well, you can make your own sauce. Just make a lot of it, and then you can kind of like container it
That's
and
what I
freeze
should
it and
do.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I say that, but I
Yeah.
never do it. I do that with chicken stock, though.
You know what you should do? Yeah, you should put it in the freezer, and then you can like take chunks out, melt it, and put it right back into something you're cooking.
Or I could put it in the freezer in ice cube tray
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and then put it with a drink. So it slowly melts and makes my drink nice and pasty,
Mm-hmm.
saucy.
Yeah, people are like, "Are you having a Bloody Mary?" And you're like, "No, this is just I have water. These are ice cubes are melting."
These are ice cubes that were pasta.
And then they still
Sauce.
don't get it, and they're like, "Well, why are your ice cubes red?"
Mm-hmm.
you're an idiot.
Yeah,
You
their
have to
boss
do
is
a
awesome.
whole thing. You have to do a whole conversation about like they don't understand. You can freeze sauce and use it later,
Yeah, idiot.
and you know you can either put butter or water to thin it out. Like, jeez,
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on. I don't have time to explain this to
yeah, I
you.
don't
Yeah.
have time for
You're
this.
like, get out of here. You're not invited to lunch again.
Yeah, leave. I have to go lay down because my blood pressure is through the roof from drinking pasta sauce. Leave.
All right. Well, that was a good segment. Question for everyone here.
Don't ask it now. We're 41 minutes in. Let's go to the next episode.
No, I gotta ask. What is your favorite Mexican food or dish? I feel like I asked this before.
Skin, food, or dish?
Out of the three of us, Reeves,
You
which
know
one
what?
do you want? A skin? Which one do you want? A food?
know
Which
what?
one do you
That
want?
is
know
the
what?
next question for our guys.
You know what?
Food or dish?
You know what? Why don't we save this when we have our Latin lunch, and we'll be right back after this. And we're back, season 3, episode 6, called Latin Lunch. This is season 4, episode 6 of the podcast.
It's not weird or hard.
It's not hard to understand. Just keep up.
Quit
We're
getting
talking about
confused.
season 3, episode 6 of Top Chef. So just pause what you're doing right now, put it in on Hulu, and then watch along, and then listen to the podcast. That's how this podcast is supposed to be listened to.
Mhm.
It is timed perfectly to match an hour of the actual episode. So you
Mhm.
should be listening to this as you're watching the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. The quickfire challenge. Tom Colicchio is so mad about the last episode's dessert, so he makes them do a quickfire challenge where they have to use pre-made pie crust. And Tom says, no excuses this time. Get it right.
Yeah.
And the guest judge is Maria Frumpkin.
Yep. Miss Frumpkin just got out of Hogwarts, and she's gonna be a guest judge. Also, early on in this episode, Joey, he says something about how he's the gray horse right now. Is that? I googled it because I was like, "Do I not know that phrase?" And then
It's
nothing
Dark
came up.
Horse.
It's
Yeah,
Dark Horse.
It's Dark Horse, but
Yes.
he's like, gray is kind of dark.
Mhm.
If it's in a shadow and something's gray, it's kind
Yeah,
of dark.
that still falls under the category. That did confuse me, but I guess I get what he means now. He also blamed
So-
Miami for the reason that he was losing. He
Yes.
listed some things, and Miami was one of the reasons. He's like, Miami. I'm like, what?
Brian, is there something that happens in the beginning of this episode you want to bring up
The Fuego thing?
with Dale?
Very well, I want to say this all the time now. Dale and it's either Joey or Howie. I don't know who they are. They are in the house and Dale's holding a cigarette and he says, "You got the Fuego, Big Daddy?" And they go outside to smoke a cigarette. I can't wait until I get to ask somebody for fire and I say, "You got that Fuego, Big Daddy?" And I can't wait. I
get
cannot
punched
wait
in the
to do
face.
that.
Yeah, there's no way this is going to backfire. So that's good.
You got that Fuego, Big Daddy?
Yeah,
What's-
Beat me up.
every part of that is very unsettling to hear. Every word.
You know what's not unsettling is that Joey finally reveals that he has pastry experience and he kept it a secret from last episode.
The hardest part of this challenge, we're not pastry chefs and we're not comfortable with doing dessert.
What nobody knows is I have some pastry experience. In the last challenge, I kind of ducked out of it, and I just didn't want to put myself out there. Maybe somebody would do something to sabotage me. So I decided to do a trio of tarts. I'm feeling good.
So, quite the gray horse indeed.
I love his reasoning so much that someone's going to try to sabotage him.
Yeah. He's playing a scared game. He also lies to the judges when they come to him and says
So
that he has
bad.
no, just to their faces, says he has no pastry experience. He's
He says it like kicking the dirt, like, "Oh, you don't really do pastry. I mean, so maybe it sucks,
"Oh, you guys are probably not even going to like what I did because I don't have any experience. I'm not a pastry chef.
I've never even seen a pastry. Like, I don't know. Is this what I'm supposed to do? I don't know."
Yeah, I don't even know where to put these things. Will you put it in your mouth? I don't even know how it works."
Hey, Howie, come over here.
Howie, can you show me how to do a pastry? I don't. This is what I did.
And Howie's like, look, man, I'm on a strict timeline. I'm trying to get things done. I'm watching the clock. I got too much going on.
Howie
really-
at the end says that life is all about timing or something like that.
Yeah,
He's
he
like, well,
does.
that's life all about timing, right? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I kind of understood what he was saying.
He was. I think he was trying to talk about like the importance of like
Punctuality.
yeah being punctual, but in
Yeah.
the context of this cooking show, it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's a given. You should probably get your food done on time and be organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
The lying to the judges, so great.
It's
You lied to Miss Frumpkin,
yeah.
And that's
Professor
not
Frumpkin.
something you want to do.
Professor
Trust me.
Frumpkin. Yeah, she's gonna turn you into a frog.
Mhm.
She was just a cat at the judges table.
She
That was
was
interesting.
so mean.
Yeah. She's thought
She
a lot
was.
of that stuff sucked.
She was.
She made a
She
lot of
was just-
faces.
Yeah,
They were
she
like,
was
Yeah.
telling people as she was testing their food, she's like, I'm not a fan of this.
She's like, just not very good.
Yeah,
It's just-
does not taste
It's just
good.
too overpowering. It's not good.
Oh yeah. Also, Hung decided he wanted to lie to the judge. I guess there's an element of lying all the time, but like he made a what was it? It was like a banana peanut
Mhm.
pie of some
Mhm.
kind. Which also, when he said peanut,
Chocolate.
sounded like he said penis. Listen to it back, fans. But it was too runny, and then he tried to cover it up with strawberries, and she saw right
Mhm.
through it. She said, "This
Yeah, she
shit's
saw it.
runny."
She was like, she almost was like, oh, your mousse isn't set. And then Padma beat her to it and was like, yeah, why'd you have trouble with your mousse? You had plenty of time.
They were both like, good, plenty of time. And he's like, no, I didn't. And they're like, no. And then he's like, and then in the talking head, he's like, I used the wrong kind of chocolate and it didn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, dumbass.
Idiot.
But that's
They
karma
know.
coming back to him. That's karma coming back the way he's been acting the past couple episodes.
Mhm. He also, so when we get to the point where she's kind of like going through and giving everyone like criticism, she like says that his stuff sucks, and he like laughs, like
Yeah.
openly laughs, like she has lost her mind saying it. Like he's like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That gross banana pudding thing was great. It looked
I
gross.
love how he cannot take criticism or judgment for his stuff at all. Like, unless you're telling him that he's amazing, he can't believe that he's not good. Which in a way is a good thing to have.
You gotta be
but it's also a
confident.
bad thing. Yeah, you
Mhm.
do have to be confident, but you gotta also be realistic confident. So
I think whenever I get in trouble for something or do something wrong or bad, I'm going to use the same excuse that every Top Chef person uses, or not excuse, but just like follow up is like, yeah, but my flavors are there.
Mhm.
Like, if I get pulled over by a cop and he's like, you were going 100 miles an hour and a 55,
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, my flavors are there.
and he's like, we're not talking about your flavors right now, Mr. Jackson.
Well, then it forces the cop to give you a compliment.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, the flavors are there.
Yeah, they're there.
We're not here judging your flavors. They're there. They're hitting.
You take
Also,
me to
why
jail
is-
for my flavors?
Yeah.
Doesn't
The
make
cop's
sense.
also like, why is Dave sitting in your passenger seat?
No, Dave.
And then Dave's like, if the bitch can cook, she can cook.
His catchphrase. And then he's like, I shouldn't be out during the day.
I'm a night cook.
I have to get my friend Dave home before the sun comes up. He will burst into flames. And my flavors are there.
So no,
I
I,
know
will
my
not
flavors are there.
take
They're all
your
there.
ticket, sir.
He gets let off with the warning.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Who wins?
Joey wins because he lied and he has pastry experience. So Joey wins. He's immune. And then they tell them that they have to cook or cater for the cast of the world-renowned Telemundo show,
Dame Chocolate.
Okay, you just
Unbelievable.
stampeded all over me. And
It's
now he's
Dame-
giving. Now
it's
he's
Dame
giving.
time.
I
It's
just
Dame
want-
time. It's Dame time, folks.
And for our listeners at home,
Yeah.
Brian is tapping his finger to his
Yeah.
wrist
Yeah.
because this
It's
is
Dame
his
time.
thing.
Because it's Dame time.
It's Dame time.
It's also closing time.
Mhm.
And guys, there's gonna be so many beautiful Latin women there.
Yeah, who says that? Is it Joey?
I think it's Joey or
Yeah.
Howie. I don't know.
There's a couple of very weird sequences. Also, like Casey, who seems like a nice person, is talking about how she's like, "Oh, I know the show. It seems really great." And then Leah's like,
She
"What's your
doesn't know the
favorite
show."
character?" And she does not say a character's name.
No.
She just lists tropes, archetypes of characters in soap
Of
operas.
Telemundo shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the fiery one?
You know, then they've got like the old aunt.
Yeah. Another liar on the show.
Yeah.
It's full of liars this season.
So here's the big thing we need to bring up. We had correspondence from Tom, We need to talk about this because I think Tom, I know when we go back in time, Tom has been following our work for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is a prime example of Tom stealing one of our bits where he comes in and gives them a screwball and is like, "Oh, I got a phone call from such and such." And he's like, "I got to speed up the time." Listen to this. This is a classic Pod Chef, your best friend's bit that Tom stole.
How's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. I need everybody's attention quickly. We just got a phone call from Dame Chocolate, and they pushed up their luncheon. So you guys have about an hour and a half to get ready. Get out of here, okay?
Yeah, I'm sure you just got a phone call from them and they pushed up their luncheon, Tom. You knew what the time was all along and you let everyone start cooking thinking they had 3 hours to cook. And then you came in right as they started and said, "Hey, yeah, they pushed it up. You lost an hour and a half. So get to work." They just called me.
Mhm.
We do that bit all the time.
Yeah, he pulled the, hey, I'm friends with the guy. Hey, look, guys, Dame Chocolate told me to do this.
Yeah.
And they just told me, they sent me an email. And it was really, for the first email, it just had like a picture of Dame Chocolate on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I tried to respond, but he responded to me before I could even respond to that, saying the time's been cut in half.
Mm.
And I tried to respond to that, and then the email bounced back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I had to help him. Then I had to help Dame Chocolate make pants out of recyclables. You guys remember that when I did that bit? It's like season 1.
Go back and listen, fans.
So Tom delivers that and he leaves. And then he comes back
Mhm.
when they have like 45 minutes left. And he's like asking them questions like, "Oh, did the lost in time make you have to change your plans?" Yeah, Tom, for most
They
people,
all say
yeah.
no.
For most normal
He
people,
looks-
they'd say yes.
So
he looks so
deflated.
disappointed.
Yeah.
He's
He's being like, "Hey, I really fucked you up, right?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Not really." And he's like, "Oh."
yeah.
Yeah. Howie for sure was like, "Yeah, I'm still gonna braise him. I'm still gonna
Oh my
braise
God.
him."
He's so pissed.
And Tom's like, why aren't you roasting him? Would have been fine. Would have been fine. Roast them. It's fine. It would have been. I don't know why he's still doing this.
He's talking head after that, where he's like, "I would have roasted it.
Yeah.
It might have been better. It would have been better."
It would
Yeah.
have
It
So
definitely would
funny.
be better. He did all
So
this
funny.
just so he could get people to cook things the way he wanted them to cook. And then he
Yeah.
was so disappointed to find that they were going to continue to cook it the way they would have done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also disappointed that when he told him about the loss in time, Hung started running around with knives out, almost stabbing people. And he was upset about that. But no one got hurt. But everyone was like, "Hey, Hung, don't run with the knives like that. Just like you don't run with scissors." And Hung was like, "I always run with scissors."
Mm-hmm.
He has to. There's a monkey that's trying to kill him in his apartment all the time.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You think that you could just walk around with scissors in your hand in an apartment when you have a monkey? No way. That monkey is
No way.
grabbing those scissors as soon as you walk by.
And the monkey doesn't know how to use them is the problem.
Yeah, the monkey is trying to be helpful. The monkey wants to like help whatever it is that you were going to use.
He
the
wants to
scissors
cut
for.
the wrapping paper.
But yeah, but he's not good at it, and then he gets distracted and he starts tearing up your couch again.
You have to call the couch company again. You say it happened again.
And they're like, "We can't send any more people over."
We keep losing our couch people. They don't come back from your house. He's like, "Yeah, the monkey."
He's like, "You're the last couch company I know. I've gone through everyone in town. You gotta cut me a break. I've got money for it." And then the monkey probably cuts the cord on the phone, and it's like, then what do you do after that?
Then you're stuck. Then the monkey makes you play board games. And again, not good at it.
Yeah, no. It doesn't really want to be playing it either. Because the
No.
monkey wants to be like outside.
Okay, so they're at Dame Chocolate and they're finally cooking and serving for everyone there. And CJ makes jicama, and I hope it doesn't make him sickama.
Mhm. He does. I think when
Let's
they're
listen
coming
to that.
in, wi-
I just want to give a shout out that Gail is back in this episode.
Gail's back.
she is back. She's
And she
special
fires
guest.
one across the bow by asking Leah, "Polenta, is that Latin?"
Really?
Rhetorical.
Leah's
That's
like,
a
it
rhetorical
sounds.
question.
It ends in an A.
Yeah.
That's what I would have said if I was Leah. So it's it's female. Ends in an A, right?
I don't see. The thing is, first of all, Brian, great joke. That would with any other judge, I think that would be fine. But with you don't want to rub Gail the wrong way though, because it's like, especially when she's just come back.
She's just come back from her fight. So.
Yeah, she's still a little raw at that point.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you say the A line back to her, and she's like, "The fuck you just say to me?" Drops her plate of polenta on the ground.
Flings something at you like a discus, hits you in the throat.
Yeah, it could get dangerous.
Your rear naked choke.
We didn't talk about it, but Casey saying, "Is that a knife?" is like Top Chef royalty. Like that's in like every clip of like Top Chef when it's like we've season 4 and it's Casey being like, "Was that a knife?
Was that a knife?"
Yeah.
And I know what you guys want me to do, and this is a knife, and I'm not going to do it.
No,
You want me to respond to Casey saying, "Is that a knife?" With "It's not a knife. This is a knife." I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
No.
he's not going to do it. Stop.
That's
asking.
low hanging figs.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Stop asking.
Yeah,
and Brian is fig drunk right now.
I'm fig drunk
on the figs from the top of the tree, not the low hanging ones.
I don't eat the ones on the bottom.
Oh, it's gross. That's for the rats.
You know who that's for, right?
Rats.
Probably. Also, Jamal, you pointed this out last week, and it happened again. Hung kicked open the door and didn't hold it for someone else, and it hit someone again.
Yep.
I don't know what his problem is.
That's his move. That's his move.
Fucking his arms are so tired from those 6 push-ups he did that morning.
He can only kick doors open now.
Yeah.
So Rose Campollo failed, and everyone at Dame Chocolate, they let them know that it was terrible, and they were like, "You should stay so we can give you lessons." Which
was very funny.
Yeah.
Sick burn.
Sick
burn.
He was speaking Spanish to these people, and in his talking head, he's like, "They all loved it," but the clip they show is just him being like, "Arroz con pollo, con pollo," and the guy's like, "Ha ha ha ha." That's all that happens.
Yeah.
The guy just laughs at him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He says like "Cómo estás" or something like that, and they just laugh at him like he's like, "What are you doing?"
He's like, "They loved it. They were laughing so hard. We were laughing together."
You know who else was laughing? Joey and Howie were buddy because they finished in the top of this challenge, and they got to the judges table and was like, "Are they friends now?"
Big boys.
Let's find out.
Big boys.
Enjoy. Joey's dish is just delicious. I was eating it the whole time I was standing next to him. I couldn't stop eating it. I don't get blown away by food too often, but it blew me away.
That's so nice.
How are you serving food and eating the entire time? Shouldn't you eat your own food?
Can you imagine? Joey's like, "Please stop eating my food. This is for the
I have
people."
to serve this.
Yeah, I don't have
Howie's
enough
like,
now.
I can't stop. I don't know. It's just so good.
It's so good. I can't stop eating it.
Oh my god, it's so
This
good.
dish is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I love that because I feel like that's, first of all, that's my vibe. That's what I'd be doing. If like if I'm on this show and I'm cooking food that's like pretty okay, and the person next to me is making bomb ass food, I'm gonna keep eating it.
It's a strategy when you think about it. You could eat all their food, and then it's like,
and
they can't serve anything.
We don't have anything.
Gail comes by.
Yeah.
There was not enough for me. I didn't get the little chip on the side.
And then Howie's like,
I
"Well,
ate
you can
them all.
have some of my food because I still have food."
Yeah.
It also just makes me feel it like brings me into the world a little more to like think that like there's a lot of downtime there. He's probably just like snacking on his thing the whole time. They're like waiting for things to set up and doing stuff, and that's just that just seems like what really happened. I'm glad that we learned that.
Yeah, they're being
It
honest.
was very
with us.
complimentary.
Yeah, in a sea of lies, there's a little bit of honesty, which is nice.
And we did learn. Joey says that him and Howie are friends now after their little tiff in the first episode.
Yep.
Second episode. First episode was that weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into Howie wins, but Hung is brought in, and before Hung was brought in, he's in the back being like, "I know, I stand by my food. My food was great. I know it was good." And then he gets his name called, and he's brought in. And let's listen to Hung take criticism.
So why do you think that you're here?
I'm not sure. Was it too classic?
We were definitely looking for classic Latin flavors.
Why did you choose that dish?
Because that's a very Latin dish. Arroz con pollo.
The rice was dry and under-seasoned a little bit.
This season, I thought it was highly seasoned. I was afraid I was here for highly seasoned.
Okay.
I don't think it was bad enough where he had to drink water and spit it out.
No. Listen.
Extreme dry.
That's not the level we're at.
This is a good group. This is a very talented group of chefs here. Nothing with the level we're spitting food out.
I understand, Chef.
It's a
Nah, that's not true. They did that for Clay.
They did.
They spit out.
Well, he said there's the level of chefs here.
Yeah,
that's true.
the remaining
That's true.
chefs.
The remaining chefs. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So Hung can take criticism easily.
Yeah.
He's fine with it.
He doesn't get
Doesn't-
defensive about it.
Nope.
I'm always talking about, when I eat food, I wonder, I'm like, is this food too classic? Is that why I don't like it? Is it's just like, it's too much classic food?
Yeah, they told me to make a Latin lunch, and I made a rose con pollo.
Mhm.
Is that too classic?
Yeah.
That's another thing I'm going to use now. If cop pulls me over. Sir, you have any idea why I pulled you over? I don't know. Too classic. Huge laughs all around. We're all laughing.
Fucking laugh. He's
Cop gets hit by a
loving
car
shit.
driving too close on the side. I take off. No ticket for me.
But now you're on the run. 'Cause it's
Before
like
you
you're at
leave,
the
you
scene
say-
of the crime.
Yeah.
Before you leave, you say seasoning 101.
I think it's a great way to play this game is to go the opposite way of what the judges say. Like, it was under seasoned. I thought it was over seasoned. Just throw it back every time. Your chicken was undercooked. I thought I overcooked it.
Yeah, I thought I overcooked it. So,
Yeah. So
there
I guess
you say that.
So the truth must be somewhere in the middle, I guess, and it's probably good. It's
That's what you're saying. It's
talk
perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess I've talked my way out of being in this room now. of
I
being
guess you
limited.
can't have me at the judges' table every time. So
Yeah.
you got to bring me down here with the losers sometimes.
The judges also for this, maybe I just like picked up on it more this episode. All their questions were like, "Were you aware that your food sucked shit?" And they're like, "No, it didn't suck shit." And they're like, "Okay, okay." Every question was like, "So you meant to make this taste like garbage?" "No, I didn't." "Okay, all right, sure." Every question was like,
Tom is mad that not enough people switched their food out when he
he's
gave
fucking
them-
really pissed.
He's like,
He hates
your
that.
food was supposed to be even worse than this.
Yeah.
You're
You
supposed to have to
ruined my
abandon
trick.
something.
I love Sarah's story as to why her ceviche wasn't ceviche. She was like, "My roommate used to make this stuff."
The fuck was she talking about? She just made guac. It didn't even look like that was the most like when she was explaining it. I was like, "You're making guac. You're not making ceviche." And that's what she
it's
did.
ceviche. Trust me, it's
She's fucking
ceviche.
confused.
Basically, there's her story was like, "My roommate told me this is ceviche."
Yeah. Your
Were they
roommate at
Latin?
cooking school?
Think so? Yeah. No. Just the guy I met on Craigslist.
Yeah. It's just some guy I used to live with.
He's like, "This is ceviche." Looks like guac to me. No, I'm Latin.
So Leah gets eliminated. Let's listen to her goodbye.
Leah, please pack your knives and go. Thank you.
The very talented and inspiring chef Leah will be going home.
I'm sad to leave. I mean, I'm embarrassed to be leaving this early because I know I'm a better cook than that. So I'm frustrated with myself. It's really great to work with other people and playing off each other's ideas. And so I think that was a really great part of it for me. I'm definitely going to keep on cooking. It's what I love to do. I love being in a kitchen. I love food. I love feeding people. It's fun.
So Leah's gone. She had 7 points up to this week. She was one of the higher scorers. So I'm surprised that she left, but it is proving that just because you have a higher score doesn't mean you're safe. So it's not knocking everyone out who has the least highest of that week, because Casey is still in it and she has 5.5 points. Everyone else has more than that. So
It's nice to hear
Interesting.
that she's still going to continue cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, has there ever been someone that's like, well, I'm
done.
I'm not going to cook anymore.
I think Roscoe said that, right?
That was
Maybe.
He said, I came all the way out here. You got me quarantined up. I'm not cooking no more.
Yeah. Who's broke?
I think Leah's goodbye was like so anticlimactic. She was just like, but also truthful, because she didn't like flower it up with like, "I thought I did a good job. I came to the show to do this and I met these people." Blah, blah. It was just like, this sucks and I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep cooking, I guess, but fuck, man. All right, I'll see you guys later. It's like,
And she didn't do anything crazy on the show either to make her stick out either.
Nah. Barely even knew she was in the show until like the past
This is the
episode.
most she's been in the show.
Yeah.
Like this and last week. She won last week, and then she's out this week.
Yeah. So we're down to people that I know now.
Yeah.
Which makes the
Camille
show
and Leah
easier.
are gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got Clay's gone. Sandy's gone. Remember Sandy? Mika is gone. Camille's gone. Leah's gone. Now it's, we're really thin in the herd here.
Yeah.
I watched this episode with Carrie, who's not been watching this season, and when CJ was on the screen, he was not in this episode much at all. He wasn't barely there. She was like, wow, he's tall.
Can't argue with that. He's also a very charming man. He seems like
he's very funny.
Yeah.
He should be on the show.
Seems really cool. Yeah.
Jamal, get CJ on the show.
Okay, I'll figure it out. So now let's move to our closing bit. It's called Brian is Dying to Give You His Opinion. This is where Brian gives you his most famous opinion of the episode we just watched. Uncensored opinion. Go ahead, Brian.
It's on the episode. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Brian is dying to give you his opinion on the episode that we just watched. New
Title
segment.
Working title.
Every week, here's my unfiltered opinion. Start the clock.
Dun, 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 dun.
I watched this episode on my TV, and it was in a weird box at the very beginning. And then it switched to not being in a box, but it was still full screen, and that's weird to me. And also, since this is unfiltered, fuck.
Okay, so that was Brian is Dying to Give You His Opinion where he's not lying. And this is the closing episode.
That's good.
It's closing
I liked
episode.
It should be about like a topic that's not Top Chef.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's a working topic and title, and it's a work in progress, like this entire podcast. We'll see you next week. We're gonna pack our knives and go.